I remember when I was younger, when I would go to school and my parents wouldn't have time to pack me up breakfast or lunch or whatever have you, and they just throw in a random Lunchable. I remember that experience because it didn't really happen that often. If we're gonna talk about the middest of mid, then we have to mention Lunchables. I guess they're okay for what they are, but like if you sit down and you look at it, it's just ham and like probably like cheddar cheese. It's 1% actual milk, and then just what was it that they gave us? What juice was it? Capri Sun, one of those. Like I said, my parents really never packed that for me all that much. I remember when I did eat them, I was pro ham and cheese. I was a ham and cheese kind of guy. I did not mess around with that pizza shit. That stuff was horrendous. I had it once and I was like, dude, there's no way that we're living for this, right? There's no way that it all leads back to this. Even as a child, I was like, this is awful. And I grew older, and then I never had it ever again. I've eaten off of a charcuterie board, which I would say is honestly a lot better because you can get different mixtures of, you know, cuts of meat, as well as different types of cheese and different types of crackers. You can really play around with it. And now that I'm over the age, you can, I could throw some wine in there, have a really good time with the friends whenever that stuff happens. But I have not really wanted to go back to Lunchables because I was a kid. Every single memory that I have, I've come to find out that it was just hyperinflated. So whenever it would come to foods, I remember something being super duper good, and then I go try it as an adult and I'll be like, oh, that's kind of like whatever. If it was mid as when I was a child, what hopes would this have now, right? I'm sure that there's plenty of ways that we can get more nutrients to kids in a healthier manner. So I thought that, maybe it's a thing that will exist for whenever parents need them. There's not really a need to replace them because they kind of are what they are. This shouldn't be your go-to option. As a parent, you shouldn't go out and buy this in bulk to just throw them at your kids in your kids' lunch. You should actually be giving them an actual lunch because they are a human being. But I never really thought about it until the other day when KSI, Logan Paul, and Mr. Beast all thought it would be a good idea to reinvent the wheel by making an inferior version of Lunchables. Now, if you didn't hear about this, let me kind of just walk you through what happened. So they dropped this. Obviously, it is like everything that those three people make, completely devoid of soul. There is no creativity behind the product. They're just trying to make as much money by pandering to kids who just see these bright colors and this guy these people that they love for some reason telling them to buy it, and then they'll just go out and buy it in droves. And people made note of this when they responded to the news on Twitter. There was a lot of tweets, but I want to hyper focus on one in particular by a YouTuber named Dan TDM. You guys may have heard of him. He's a pretty big Minecraft YouTuber, but what he tweets was pretty simple. I agree with his message, but it reads as follows: what happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better. Now, I do understand what he means with, like, things weren't always like this. When YouTube started, it was people that were passionate about creating content. Making money was at the back of their minds. For the most part, most people weren't even making money. This was straight up just passion projects. And then as people started making money and people started hearing that, hey, you can make money just making these videos, of course, it was eventually going to lead to where we're at right now, which is the corporatization of YouTube. Because really, if you sit down and you look at it, the videos that are getting all the views are the ones that have no substance to them. They're just designed to get the most clicks as possible, which really deprives it of the authenticity. And this you can see this straight up with what's in Lunchly here. First of all, it contains both Prime and Feastables. Prime, which has been linked to having way too many microplastics, much more than they should, and Feastables, which is the most generic and bland chocolate bar on the market. It doesn't help that on their privacy policy for their food, it says, Section 21, Class Action Waiver. You agree that any claim you may have against Lunchly shall be brought individually through arbitration conducted pursuant to Section 20, and you should not join any action with claims of any other person or entity, or bring, join, or participate in a class action suit against Lunchables. Basically, if anything goes wrong with your Lunchables, by eating Lunchables, you are agreeing that you can't make a class action lawsuit. Which, I feel like if you have to have something like that on food, you probably know that there's something wrong with it. I get it, like all these things are designed to like kind of cover your back, but when it comes to food, there's no way something like this should be legal. Of course, KSI and the boys, they try to say that, oh, Dan TDM, you're no better than this, by posting some of the merch that he has released. If you sit down and you look at the stuff that Dan TDM has put out, it has been stuff that a kid would want. It's Minecraft-like characters because he plays Minecraft, designs that have something to do with that. It's not just completely out of left field. On the other hand, Lunchables literally rebrands sodium as electrolytes. It has less calories than Lunchables, which isn't necessarily a good thing, because you have to remember that kids, unless they're like overeating, they don't really need to count calories. They're growing, their bodies do need more calories just because they are growing, so depriving them of those calories isn't necessarily a good thing, especially when you're just offering a lower calorie version of something that is already shitty in of itself, and just rebranding that and just trying to, again, target kids. Because for some reason, Logan Paul, KSI, and Mr. Beast all just target kids. That is their audience. And it's so creepy how they do it too. Obviously, the fellas, they go on and they make several videos, you know, kind of trying to get Dan TDM in particular, because for whatever reason, his tweet in particular really grinded all their gears, going as far as to making YouTube videos where they eat both of them, like the three owners, right? Not like three random people. The three owners eat both of them, and then on camera are like, yeah, Lunchables is better. Yeah, bro, I'm gonna believe you. There's definitely no vested interest in you being in that video. 100% unbiased opinion from you there, KSI, Logan Paul, and Mr. Beast. We believe you, 100%. I mean, no surprise, Lunchables just can't compete with Dan TDM. And I think it's pretty easy to see who's losing this fight of sorts, if you will. Because Dan TDM posted one tweet that got like hundreds of thousands of likes, and I'm gonna focus on KSI now in particular because he's responded so many times to Dan, and Dan doesn't even like pay attention to him. I think if you combine all of JJ's tweets, all their likes, it's still not enough to catch up to Dan TDM's single tweet. For some reason, KSI just decided that he was gonna let Dan TDM live in his head completely rent-free. Not only is he living rent-free, he's also providing him top quality food to go along with it, you know, all expense paid vacation, if you will, because again, Dan hasn't even replied to him since, and I guess that might have played a bit into it getting so far into KSI's head that it pushed him to do something unfathomable, something we would have never expected. It pushed him to make arguably one of the worst songs of common time. Now, if any of you use TikTok, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume that most of you do, you've seen the thick of it. I don't know if you knew this. This is a song that's supposed to be kind of like a Dan TDM diss, and there's no way you can't deny it. There is video evidence of KSI getting visibly upset because his label removed Dan TDM's logo from the end of Thick of It. This song would have not existed were it not for Dan TDM. So Dan, thank you so much for putting in the work. Thanks to you, we now have this masterpiece. This song will go on to shape future generations, and god damn it, that's horrifying. But if you've heard of it, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm not even gonna go ahead and say that the song is bad necessarily for the lyrics themselves. I mean, they're not good at all. In short terms, I guess the song can kind of be summarized to like, oh, I started from the bottom, now we're here, but also I'm like in the thick of it. It looks really nice, corny as hell when you attach it to the lyrics, but the part where the song really, what's the opposite of shines? The way that this song manages to really obscure itself is in the flow. I'm convinced, because you've had since then a lot of people come out and, you know, making fun of their song, kind of do like their own thing, and every single time it's better. Even if it's still not good, it's better. And then if you take into account that they made like a 1950s version, I'm gonna straight up go ahead and say that the 1950 version goes unbelievably hard. That shit goes crazy. I could see that as Fallout music, but also if that version of it came on, I would not turn it off. Type music was simpler back then. I'll ignore the simplicity of the lyrics here. But like, on top of everything, it's not like KSI's fan base has changed within like the recent years, so he should know what his audience likes. So this is not what they like, so I don't know what his idea was going into it. I really genuinely don't understand what he was planning. It just doesn't make any sense. So he puts a song out, everybody starts reacting to it, everybody's clowning on him. Speed calls him on FaceTime, tells him that trash. His brother Deji watches it live. 3 seconds in, he's cracking his ass off. And meanwhile, my boy Dan TDM, back at his house with his kids and his wife, completely unbothered, moisturized, not a bad thought inside, very classy, very demure. And look, this all led to KSI being really sad about it. I guess he doesn't like the fact that people didn't like his music. But okay, so I am of two minds of this. I am never gonna go ahead and sit down and say that when it comes to finances, KSI, Logan Paul, and Mr. Beast aren't smart, because you need some level of understanding. Although I will say that a lot of their finances, you know, their situation is definitely helped by the fact that they have no morals. So they will step on anyone they need to get to where they need to go. So part of me wants to believe that KSI is just putting on an act, that he doesn't care what kind of engagement, because engagement is engagement. And at the end of the day, if more people see his stuff, then, you know, he'll make more money. At the same time, I think there is a part of him deep down inside that probably is upset that people don't like his song. And I would feel bad for him if he wasn't stroking the fire the whole time. Dan TDM made a comment that was not even directed at him. It was more of like an umbrella kind of comment. They're like, oh, we're all just becoming sellouts. We have no morals for what we sell. All we care is about making the bag. And he took that shit personally. And now he's sad. So does it suck that KSI is sad because people don't like his music? Sure. Does it hurt to create something and have people not like it, even if that thing is shit? Sure. Do I feel bad for him? Absolutely not. It's like, oh no, the consequences of my actions. What do you expect, bro? You started at what? Like, you were 17 when you started YouTube, and now you're in your 30s and you still act and behave the same way. Time kept moving and you're still stuck in what, 2006? Grow up. To anybody who's upset about me saying that, dude, this is your guy and you're not holding him accountable. So either you see that the stuff that he does is okay, which makes you just as bad as he is, or you are not doing anything to get him to see that his actions are incorrect, which still results in you being part of the problem. That being said, it does look like Thick of It is unironically starting to be enjoyed by people. I think the irony went a little too far, and now it's come around to a cult classic status. The song's still ass. I'm not playing that song because I heard KSI is just claiming videos left and right of people talking about it. If you haven't heard it, I guess go listen to it, or probably don't. You're not missing out on anything. Any other song that you hear is probably going to be a better song, better use of your time. That being said, that's it for me today. Not as funny a video today. You guys get hater Pablo. We're hating for funsies today. This is kind of the schedule I'm trying to push towards, so I try to expect this from me going forward. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys are still here, like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. Again, my name is Pablo, aka SubtlyArtistic. Peace out. Bye.